Hey everybody, welcome back to Wrestling for MMA. Titan FC 62 just happened. Main event was Trent McCown versus Jared Gooden. And congrats to Jared for winning this fight. He did a phenomenal job defending a takedown against the cage, and that's why I wanted to go over today with you guys. So as Trent and Jared were fighting, eventually Trent gets Jared closer to the cage. And they're both in an orthodox position, so the power side for Trent was on his left side. And he was here, he threw a right hand already before, but as he goes to enter in on the takedown, he throws a right hand. And right as he throws the right hand, Jared goes with a check hook on his way in. So Jared actually catches him coming in before he gets the takedown, or goes for the takedown against the cage. Now, usually when I'm coming in on a takedown, or I'm watching a fighter come in on a takedown, I'd recommend them to not go towards the power side, but since he was up against the cage, he doesn't have to worry about too much of an explosion, because Jared didn't have a whole lot of room to work with. But if I was to make one adjustment, instead of coming in on a takedown with his right hand, setting it up to start his level change, instead of going towards the power with that, I would have recommended instead a hook to a double, going towards the lead side away from the power, where he would come in like this and lower. But let's go through the full sequence, and then I'll show you how Jared defended the takedown and then defended strikes from breaking space after the defense. So, like the sequence from the beginning, Trent comes in with a right hand. He gets check hooked on his way in, comes in, gets him up against the cage. Now, when somebody gets you up against the cage, people are ultimately going to start spreading their base so they don't get their legs pulled out from underneath them. You're always going to have an overhook and an underhook in kind of a 50-50 position when you're defending a takedown. So you already have an underhook on the right side, and what you're trying to do is you're trying to get their hips and their hands away from your hips and your legs to get them back up. Now what Jared did is he already has this underhook on the right hand side to elevate Trent to get away from the cage. What he did is he took his left hand, swimmed it to the inside. Trent started pushing in even more. Jared had to push away, circle away from the cage, but now that he's away from the cage, he needs to break separation without getting hit with a strike on his way out. Because as soon as he breaks space, the defensive opponent will be looking to hit a hook. Something Corey Anderson does very well is, let's say somebody's in on a shot and they separate from him, like that, boom, he's hitting a hook right away. So Jared was right here, had the double underhooks, he broke space, and right away he threw his hands up because he knows that's a common occurrence that can happen. So I'll show you the entry and the exit one more time. Trent came in with the right, got checked hooked on his way in, came down with his takedown against the wall, and then Jared, defending the takedown, dug his underhook on the left-hand side, raised Trent's hips, circled out, and made sure to cover his face so there was no strikes on the clear. So thanks again for watching Wrestling for MMA. Again, congrats to Jared. That was Titan FC 62.